Give me 1 second here. All right. Just trying to get a call in there. Called in a little bit early, but it's okay. Maybe I'll call back. Starting the live stream off strong. Uh, kind of started it off a little rushed there, but there's a lot to talk about here. Knicks beat down the Nets last night, and it was a beatdown. Um, Mets acquired Freddie Peralta. We're obviously going to talk about that, which it was really did not expect that. Yesterday I was talking a bit about the Freddie Peralta move, but outside of the Mets and Knicks, we talked about Cody Bellinger a little bit yesterday. We'll probably continue to expand on that, look a little bit further into that contract today. The Rangers, thankfully, didn't play yesterday. Islanders, we can talk about them a little bit too. Whatever everyone would want to talk about. Just going to get myself situated here for 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry. Okay, so I guess we will jump into Freddie Peralta because that is the biggest topic of interest right now. And it was really probably the biggest trade the Mets have made in quite some time. Not free agents, but trade-wise. The biggest one the Mets have made since, I don't know, really might be the biggest trade that they've made in quite some time. All right, looking at Peralta here. For anyone who isn't too familiar with Freddie Peralta or maybe thinks he's a little bit overrated in terms of what we gave up for him with Sproat and Jet Williams. But this is what I would like to look at. I would like to look at 2021 first and foremost. 3.7 BWAR, 10-5, 2.81 ERA. It started 27 games, so it wasn't like, a fluke here. 144 innings pitched. Would like that to be a little bit higher, but what are you going to do? 56 walks. Not terrible. 195 strikeouts in 144 innings pitched. That's unbelievable. The K per 9 is getting cut off a little bit there, but the K per 9 in 2021 was at a career high, or second career high at 12.2. Listen, the Mets, they got an ace. They got an ace. I know there's been a bit of an argument on socials or just across the league past couple of seasons of whether or not Freddie Peralta really is a true ace, even if he's a 2. Even if Freddie Peralta is a true 2 on your baseball team, that is more than okay. If you look at last year, 2.7 ERA, 176 innings pitched, 204 strikeouts. The whip is cut off here, but sitting at a 1.075 whip, which is walks and hits per inning if you aren't familiar with that stat. 10.4 K per 9. Not afraid to walk guys. Clearly, he's going to attack the strike zone. I don't know how much that got him in trouble. I wasn't watching that many Brewers games. Clearly, it didn't get him into that much trouble because he had a 2.7 ERA, was not giving up many runs last year. Strikeout stuff clearly there. 3 straight seasons, guys. 3 straight seasons of 200 strikeouts. That is not easy. That is not common to come across. You don't see that in the MLB quite often. As of more recently, I'm sure you could see a lot of people, striking out a lot more guys with how fast they're throwing and the movement that and spin rates that have all gone up within the past 5 to 10 years in the MLB. But regardless, 200 strikeouts a season is for 3 straight seasons is not something to just gloss over. That is an elite stat. I believe here, if I read it correctly, Freddie Peralta was one of 5 players in baseball. I have to get the stats right specifically before I put it out there in the world. I don't want to put out wrong information. But regardless, the main point I'm trying to make here is that the Mets got their guy. And funny enough, Freddie Peralta was traded for from Milwaukee when David Stearns was the GM in Milwaukee, and now he's traded for by David Stearns again, this time as a member of the New York Mets. All coming full circle here for David Stearns, who has really turned Mets fans' opinions around. He has shown a willingness to react when it's necessary. I feel that the Bo Bichette signing was not a panic move, but a move of like, we need to act right now. Like this, we need to go. We need to get a bat before the fans rip our head off. I feel like he was feeling the pressure a little bit. Could be wrong. He's a very poised guy. He's seemed to have it all figured out this whole time. But boy wonder, they call him. Boy genius, whatever you want to call David Stearns, who has been a very, I guess, polarizing figure here in Metland since his arrival. Like him or not, he's making the moves that everyone's asking for. If you are going to let Pete go and you're going to trade Nimmo and you're going to trade Diaz, these are the next best moves that you can make, signing guys like Polanco and Bichette and trading for Robert and trading for Peralta and signing Devin Williams and signing Luke Weaver. Like, the Mets have had a very good offseason. If you want to go look back and at my old videos and live streams, I was on here ripping David Stearns, as was everyone else on this app or across social media in general. But at this point, I don't know how much you could, I guess, criticize him for, is what I'm trying to say here. There is a lot going on in the league, and the Mets are front and center of it all. No matter who the player is, the Mets are always right there front and center. They're interested in Tucker. They got Bichette. They were in talks for Schoolbull. They were in talks for Peralta. Then they traded for him. They're always front and center. Anyone out there who wants to argue with me, or anyone for that matter, that the Wilpon Mets era and the Steve Cohen Mets era is the same thing, it is night and day. It is not even close. The Steve Cohen era of the Mets, while they haven't won a World Series, this is what we watched the Yankees do growing up, or at least my generation did. We watched this Yankees team, or those Yankees teams, they were, even if they didn't land the guys they wanted to, or get the guys they wanted to, they were in the mix for everyone. And we sat there and we watched the Mets run out the same roster year after year after year, or just a bum roster filled with guys that were in and out of the lineup between AAA and the majors throughout the whole season. It's night and day difference. The New York Mets have, while they haven't won, they have changed the perception of the franchise. They are trying their best to make it a desirable spot to play. They have the money. They have the talent. They landed Juan Soto. I think everyone's forgetting that the Mets have Juan Soto on their team. One of, if not the best hitter in baseball. Relax, I know it's still probably Judge and Ohtani, but one of the best hitters in baseball. Okay? You build around a guy like that. You lose someone like Pete Alonso, you go pivot and sign Bichette and Polanco. You lose Nimmo, you go get Robert, who has higher upside. Lower floor, but higher upside. You lose Diaz, you go get Devin Williams, who was better than Diaz every single year up until last season. Devin Williams was the best closer in the sport. A lot of people are forgetting that. From 2020 to 2024, Devin Williams was the best closer in baseball. Maybe Diaz always had the stuff a little bit better than Williams, but statistics, we'll look at Devin Williams real quick. Look at Devin Williams' stats here, guys. Devin Williams from 2020 to 2024. Look at that. 0.33 ERA, 2.5, 1.93, 1.53, 1.25. Granted, like this year, 21 innings pitched, but 15 saves, 36 saves, 14 saves. Like, come on here. This is a dominant relief pitcher that the Mets pivoted from. Well, I mean, they got Williams first, but when they kind of had an idea that Diaz may be out the door and he wanted LA, or contract negotiations were stalling, this was the pivot. Whether it pissed Diaz off, that's a different conversation. But, this Mets roster has really been completely different. It's a new Mets team. It's a new era in Mets land. Look at Freddie Peralta. I really want to talk about this guy all day. I'm so excited for this trade. This is awesome. Awesome. Pitching run values in the 97th percentile. The fastball run value, 84. Breaking run value, 89. Off-speed run value, 96. That's what you love to see. Show me the off-speed. Everyone could throw hard. What do you got off speed? What's your stuff like? Expected ERA in the 75th percentile. Expected batting average in the 85th percentile. Fastball velo, just about league average. Fine by me. You don't need to throw 158 miles an hour. This is really something. Like I talked about before too, walk rate is a little lower than you'd like. He's not really afraid to walk guys because he knows how good his stuff is. He's just going to attack the strike zone and let that be that. So, who knows? Listen, he could be a bad Met and have the classic, this guy sucks. He can't handle New York. I don't personally think that'll be the case when you have someone this good. I mean, maybe his first year in New York, he'll struggle a little bit. I think the Mets should extend him right away. This shouldn't be a one and done. They need this guy for a while. He's 29 years old. This really should not be a rental. Lots of love. Looking into Brandon Sproat, too. If we want to look at what the Mets gave up, if anyone out there is interested, he's not going to be qualified because he barely pitched last year. But everything was looking pretty good. This is a guy that I know Mariners fans, when they were looking at mock trades, this is a guy that looked enticing to them. Obviously wanted Tong as well. Mets, like I said in the past too, the Mets are not going to give up Tong unless it's for Tarek Skubal. That simple. In terms of Brandon Sproat and Jet Williams, I'm not crazy about giving up Brandon Sproat and Jet Williams if only if Freddie Peralta is a rental. Then I'm not too crazy about it. But at the same time, if he is a rental and they win the World Series, he could go sign an 800-year contract with the Jupiter Stars for all I care. I don't care if he never pitches throws another pitch for the Mets ever again, as long as they win this year with him. So they're going all in for right now, is what it looks like. There's no extension, no talks of extension as of this very moment. So it looks like the Mets are going all in for 2026 before a potential lockout in 2027. With that being the case, you're going to have the price for Peralta was not going to be cheap. This is what you're going to have to give up. The Mets farm system went from went from first to sixth yesterday. It's a big drop, but also at the same time, that's a big drop if you don't realize that the Mets have other top 100 guys in their system. They only gave up 2 guys of their top 5 prospects or top 10 prospects, whatever the case might have been. Sure, Jet Williams in the future would have been nice. Sure, Sproat in the future would have been nice. But Freddie Peralta means they are going all in right now. They're pushing the chips all in. Okay, Freddie Peralta is a game changer for this rotation. There is no doubt about that. Again, we're going to look back at Peralta here. He was one of the most dominant pitchers in baseball last year. That's simple. He might not be the big household name like Skubal or Skeens or even DeGrom, who's still great last year. But this was elite level stuff. The whip at a 1.08, a great, and like I was talking about before, 3 straight seasons with 200 strikeouts. That's not something that should be looked over in the MLB. Granted, strikeouts are going up, whiff rates are going up. These guys are throwing harder. It's harder to hit the baseball. But 200 strikeouts in 3 straight seasons is a major accomplishment. They're swinging and missing. That's simple. Like I said, I would like the walk rate to go down a little bit. But what are you going to do? Looking at the Mets rotation as a whole now, we have probably, I would assume Peralta's going to be the one. But flip-flop between him and McClain doesn't really matter. We got McClain at the 1, Sproat at the 2, Peralta at the 2. I guess Sanga 3? Question mark. David Peterson 4, and then Deshaun Manaea slide in at in the 5th spot. Does Clay Holmes go back to the bullpen? Do they let Clay Holmes keep his starting job? Do they run a 6-man rotation? There's a lot of questions here with that. I don't know. I personally, I would say that Clay Holmes would have to go back to the bullpen, whether he likes it or not. You're getting paid $22 million, so just shut up and go back to the bullpen. What do you care? I'm all speculating here. I don't know what the plan is. If I had to pick, again, Holmes back to the bullpen or run a 6-man rotation. I don't think you can put a guy like Peterson or Manaea in the bullpen at this point in their career. They're used to starting. Their mindset is to start. That's just what's going to happen. These guys are not going to want to go back to the bullpen. Or not even back. I don't think Manaea or Peterson have ever come out of the bullpen outside of the playoffs. Lot to unfold there. We could talk about Peralta all day. I've been talking about him for the first 20 minutes of this stream because this is really just such an exciting time in Metsland. This is not your old typical Mets. They're in the mix for everyone, even with the departures. David Stearns has been very motivated to get shit done, to put it simple. But I don't want to be too caught up on the Mets as we are going to talk about everything here. I wanted to go back and look at Cody Bellinger a little bit because I got to talk about him yesterday. Not too much. So looking at Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger is maybe one of the streakiest players in the sport. He has been, I don't know. He's been very, I don't want to say bad. Sorry about that. I don't want to say bad because he's not bad at all. And this isn't me being a biased Met fan. I would have liked the Mets to get Bellinger. But I would like the Mets to get Bellinger, but it's really not worth it once they got Robert. In terms for the Yankees, in getting Bellinger. This was they had to have him. Not only did the Yankees have to have Bellinger, Bellinger had to have the Yankees. I said this all offseason. The fact that there was ever a thought in Bellinger's mind that he wanted to leave the Yankees, beyond me. I can't believe that he even wanted to leave them. Or I don't think he wanted to leave the Yankees, but I think he really kind of stretched it there with that contract. He was really trying to get out as much as he could. And it almost cost him. But luckily for him, it didn't. Luckily for the Yankees, it did it. The Yankees did a phenomenal A-plus job in negotiations here. Phenomenal A-plus job in negotiations. The Yankees didn't back down to Cody Bellinger. And that's what's most important. The Yankees are saying, hey, we're still the Yankees and we have the money to pay people, but we're not just going to be some pushover franchise where you could squeeze every single cent out of us. This is our price. Take it or leave it. If you can go find a better offer than what we're putting on the table right now in front of you, then go take it. Until then, this is our best and final. That's it. I think Bellinger panicked a little bit and said, you know what, this is all I'm going to get. And I say he panicked a little bit because they were at such a standoff with the five. I mean, it was reported weeks ago that the Yankees had offered 5-160 or 5-150, anywhere in that range. And that's what the contract ended up being. So I say Bellinger maybe panicked a little bit because he wasn't. I'm sorry, there was no add-ons to that contract. Maybe the opt-outs got it done, but for him to stay, stern on being like, hey, I'm not taking that deal, and then end up taking that deal, that tells me he went out, said no to the Yankees originally, went out and shopped the market, talked to the Mets, talked to the Blue Jays, talked to whatever team was interested, and pretty much said, I'm not getting better than what the Yankees just gave me. I had my best season since my MVP season as a Yankee. There's no reason for me to leave this franchise if this is the best offer on the table for me right now. They did an excellent job in that. And they ended up landing their guy that they needed, too. A lot of Yankee fans, I should say, were kind of tricking themselves to believe that it would be okay if Bellinger left. They had to have him. There was no chance that it was okay if this guy left. No chance. But, yes, this has been a very crazy, very, very crazy whirlwind of emotions here for the Mets and Yankee fans over the past 48 hours, especially the Mets. All within 5 days, Bo Bichette, Luis Robert, and Freddie Peralta. Speaking of the Mets, I wanted to talk about this. I'm sorry not to go back to the Mets. It's just what I know the most about, but man, I completely forgot about this guy. Give me 1 second here. How about this guy, Tobias Myers? Everyone's forgetting the Mets had gotten Tobias Myers in the Freddie Peralta trade last night, and no one really talks about it. What else no one talks about? Whatever everyone talks about with Peralta, they are forgetting to include Tobias Myers in this conversation. This guy is not a superstar, okay? I will start off by saying that he is not a superstar. But at 27 years old, out of the bullpen, has some stuff here that I like, has some stuff here I don't like either. I think maybe everyone was I don't want to say overrating the addition of Myers, but it's nothing to gloss over, to put it nicely. Doesn't walk that many people. The walk rate is great. Missing barrels, awesome. Love to see that. Extension, cool. Off speed run value, awesome. I love when a pitcher has good off speed stuff. I don't care how hard you throw. Everyone throws fast. I'm going to sound like an old head, but nobody cares how hard you throw. Just throw strikes. Make them swing and miss. Make it look like a strike. It doesn't matter if it's 800 miles an hour or 75 miles an hour, as long as you're getting an out. In terms of, could the Mets have done better with Tobias Myers? A better player than Tobias Myers. I wouldn't say that. And with what the Brewers have to offer, I wouldn't say that he was a bad throw-in. I mean, he still had a great year in 24 when he was starting. They asked him to go into the bullpen last year. He did end up starting only 6 games, and he still put together quite the season in the bullpen with a 3.55 ERA out of the pen, a 3 ERA in the his rookie season as a starter. There was also a quick little interesting, I guess, trivia or whatever you want to call it. The coolest thing to me about these Mets offseason additions, now with Peralta and Tobias Myers, was does anyone remember who started Game 3 of the National League Wild Card Series in Milwaukee against the Mets? It was Tobias Myers, and he pitched 5 shutout innings. After him, out of the bullpen, Freddie Peralta came in and dominated the Mets as per usual, and that was that. Devin Williams came in, gave up the 3-run homer to Pete Alonso, and Mets end up winning 4-2. If you paid close attention to the 4 players I just talked about, Devin Williams, Tobias Myers, and Freddie Peralta, all members of the Brewers at that time, are now all on the Mets. And the guy who hit the 3-run homer to send them home packing, Pete Alonso, is now no longer on the Mets. So it's a crazy world out there. That's why I love sports and I love baseball and I love life, because you never know what's going to happen. Every day is a new day. That game was, I was in the stadium at the live watch party at Citi Field with my friends. One of the most exciting times, one of the best sports memories of my life, jumping up and down like lunatics when he hit that shot. Fast forward 2 years later, not even 2 years later, the Mets are now done with Alonso, and they've added the 3 guys that were pitching in that game against them. Full circle moment. Hopefully it won't turn out like it did in Milwaukee there. And let's see where this Mets season takes them. I talked a lot about the Mets here today on this live stream, but give me some leeway here. I'm a big Met fan. Okay. I gave the Yankees their props. They signed Bellinger, come on. They might do something else. Probably not. Cashman's being a little cheap, but what are you going to do? Sucks to suck. Sorry to hear it. So, yeah, that's that for baseball. I won't ramble too much on it. How about those Knicks last night, huh? That's what I wanted to talk about next. I sat here yesterday and I, to put it nicely, crapped on the Knicks. The collapse was awful. They had lost 9 of their last 11. I kind of, bad mistake on me, I kind of forgot that they were playing Brooklyn yesterday. I didn't really even talk about the preview. I just kind of talked about their struggles a little bit. The Nets are the worst team ever. Legitimately, that was the worst performance I've seen on any sport team ever. No joke, ever. A single in-game performance from a sports team, that was the worst one. Baseball, football, it doesn't matter. They put up, 62 points? Cam Thomas, did you even play? I mean, he played, but were you even there mentally? Michael Porter Jr. chucking up bricks like you wouldn't believe. This Nets team, and I know they're not supposed to be good. I know this Nets team is not good. but that was a different level of bad. There's really not even words to describe how bad the Nets played last night. As for the Knicks, they needed that win so badly. So badly. To just beat down a team. They looked like they played angry yesterday. Was it that the Nets were that bad or that the Knicks were that good? That's for you to decide. I'm a fan just like you. I'm no analyst here. I'm no professional analyst. But it was a beatdown. Regardless of whatever answer you just gave to my question in your head, they needed that win. Simple as that, they needed that win. A win like that could jumpstart a win streak. You win tomorrow, that's 2 in a row. You win 3 in a row, that's called a winning streak. It has happened before. So, what do we take away from that game as a whole? Again, was it that the Knicks were that bad? I mean, was it that the Nets were that bad, or was it that the Knicks are that good? Were that good yesterday? Wanted to look at some stat lines from that game that stood out to me. We had we had Cat go 5 for 8 with 14. Hart was back and went 5 for 5, perfect from the fields, almost a double-double. Bridges, if you watched yesterday, you know how I feel about Bridges. He had a decent game. 5 for 9 from the field, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, whatever. Brunson being Brunson, 20 points, 8 for 17 from the floor, shot 1 for 8 from 3. That's what I wanted to talk about too. Shaman had 17 off the bench as well. 18, excuse me. I wanted to talk about that too. I'm kind of answering my question from before. Were the Nets that bad or were the Knicks that good? Maybe a little bit of both, but I'd say that the Nets were just that bad because I don't think that I watched the game last night and said, "Oh wow, the Knicks just look, man, that they just look like they're playing great basketball. Like they missing a lot of threes, still some sloppy plays, some sloppy turnovers I didn't like. Brunson shot 1 for 8 from 3. Like they got lucky they were playing the worst team in the league, but sometimes you need luck to be good and to jumpstart a winning streak. That's just the way the world works sometimes. So be it. It's a win regardless. A win is a win. The most classic saying in sports, and I think the most applicable statement in sports, is a win is a win. I had a call in before, but he didn't seem to call in again. So, what are you going to do? Maybe he had seen the TikTok and said, you know what? Maybe I will call in. Regardless, I'm drifting. Just trying to wait to see if anyone wants to call in or comment, or I'd love to have live discussions with you guys. But doesn't seem like anyone's in here right now. You know what? Give me 2 seconds. I just wanted to do something for the stream. I will be right back to anyone watching this in the future. Unless I just don't even know how to do that. Okay, yes, I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Just wanted to fix something up with the stream there for a minute. But listen, I had some time right there to collect my thoughts about what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to further expand on the Knicks a little bit. The Knicks needed that win not only because they had been struggling, but to show the world and themselves that we are still a good basketball team. I had just said before I took my little break there that the Knicks were not as good, maybe, as we thought they were last night. It was really more so the Nets just being the worst basketball team the world has ever seen. But with that being said, the Knicks had an opportunity to step on their throat, and that's exactly what they did. That jumpstarts a win. And that's what's going to make a good team a good team. You can't dwell on the past. You had a bad couple of weeks before that. You lost 9 games of 11. Shit happens. That's what happens in sports. The bad teams, they get stuck in that void, like the 2025 Mets. They get stuck in that endless pit of misery, and they feel the pressure, and they can't get out of it. Now, we see what this Knicks team is made of. There's still plenty of season left. That's why I want to hold the brakes a little bit. There's plenty of time left to see if this Knicks team is just going to bounce back from this, or if they're going to get stuck in that endless misery and pit of void, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't think that's the case. I think they need more out of Cat. This is his worst season in the NBA. For sure. This is by far Cat's worst season in the NBA. Should they trade him? It was a question. I think it would be stupid to do that unless it's for Giannis, especially because Cat's value is as low as it's going to get right now. What is the return going to look like? And who's taking on $52 million a year and $60 million a year in 2 seasons, which is ridiculous. I talked about yesterday how this Knicks team has to win with what they have right now. They have to win with what they have right now because they don't have anything to give up. You got Bridges already. You extended him. You gave him $40 million a year. I hated that trade and I hated that extension, but you did that. It's done with. You can't trade him now. No one's taking that contract. And if they are, you're eating half of it and you're not getting a lot back. Same thing with Cat, which I don't mind. You paid Cat, sure, but you're now giving him $60 million or $50 million, whatever the exact number is per season. You're not getting rid of that contract very easily. If you do, the only thing I'd want back is Giannis. And right now, they're not doing that. Because Cat is having his worst season in his entire tenure in the NBA. So that's not happening. Lots to unpack there with the Knicks because this has just been a roller coaster of a season so far. Started off so well with the NBA Cup champions, which, please, I was with everyone else on that. Enough with the NBA Cup. It shouldn't even be a thing, first of all. And if you win it, who cares? Hang a banner. I know they didn't, but who cares? I think the Knicks thought that they were better than what they were, and they kind of rode that cockiness over the next couple of games and said, who's beating us? And then they hit a wall. Called the players meeting, had a 60-point win yesterday, but let's see. I want to see their next game. I want to see their next game to really judge if they're back or not. Beating up on the worst basketball team maybe I've ever watched in my life, that doesn't impress me much. And it's sad that they are the worst basketball team I've ever seen in my life because, maybe not the worst, but point stands. Because just a couple of years ago, they had it all. Harden, KD, Kyrie, where did it all go wrong? Now you're watching Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr., which is really just, it's really, that's something. Okay, so enough about the Knicks. I don't want to get too caught up in anything here. I have been talking for 40 minutes already. If there's anyone watching, I don't know if there is, but if there is anyone watching and you want to call up and you would like to shoot a comment, please do so. I'll stick around for a little bit here to wait and see if that is going to be the case. Oh, my hair is a mess today. Yeah, so, oh my gosh, this is really something else. This hair is absolutely terrible today. Best I could do for you. I was thinking of maybe playing like a baseball game or something too on here. I don't know. Maybe we will do that. Maybe we'll play some immaculate grids. Just spice things up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Why not? Play some immaculate grid to end the day. Padres, Sox. Or Sox, Yankees. Could go Todd Frazier, but I feel like that's a little. I don't know. We'll go Todd Frazier. Why not? I feel like people forget he was a White Sox and a Yankee. 20-win season pitching. Oh, my God. Who won 20 games as a White Sox? That's disgusting. I don't know. Nobody? Did anyone ever win 20 games as a White Sox starting pitcher? I don't think so. I don't know. We're skipping it. Padres, Sox. Easy. James Shields. Oh, wait, did he? Yes, he did. He pitched for the White Sox. That was a what a terrible guess. What's wrong with me? I'm usually great at these. That was a terrible. That was awful. If anyone wants to help out, please let me know a 20-win pitcher for the White Sox. Because that's disgusting. That I didn't. I couldn't do that. It's also disgusting that I only got James Shields right here. Reds, Padres. Oh. Reds, Padres. Emilio Pagan. Definitely. No, I'm over the rarity scores, okay? I'm over him. How do you spell his name? There you go. I'm over him because, that was only 1%. Because a lot of people like to flaunt their, my rarity score was a 4. Okay, well, not everyone's a genius, okay? Some of us got to settle for James Shields. Which, traded for Fernando Tatis, one of the worst trades ever. 40 career WAR, played for the Padres. Did Dave Winfield? I don't know if he did. He played for quite a while. Okay, 11%, sure. Yankees, 40 career WAR. We can pick anyone. Yankees, Reds, we could use Todd Frazier there too, but we will use... Oh, God, I don't know. Who will we use here? I don't know. I really don't know who we will use here. Yankees, Reds. Cueto was never a Yankee. I'm really going casual mode here today. I don't know what's wrong with me. Haven't eaten anything maybe? Maybe that's the case. Nope, never played for them. Wow, I'm really blanking. 40 career WAR, let's just get that out of the way. I think Rivera had a 40 career WAR. which if he didn't, I'd be shocked. Yeah, he did. 20-win season plus a 40 career WAR. We can go a lot of players, but we'll go Steve Carlton, most underrated pitcher ever. 20-win season for the White Sox. I'm never gonna get it. Hal Newhouser was on the Tigers, right? I don't know. Reds, Yankees. Why am I blanking on a Reds Yankee? I don't know. Why can I not think of one? Boy, oh boy, this is bad. This is really bad. I'm like embarrassed a little bit. 20-win season for the Reds. I would hope Tom Seaver did it. I don't know how great his years were as a Red, if we're being honest. No, he didn't. Great. Cueto, I don't think he had 20 wins. That's a little absurd, is it not? I don't know. Why can I not think of a Yankee and a Red? I'm sure there's an obvious one that I'm just not remembering. Oh, Chapman. Duh, but I'm not going to put Chapman. For the fucking hell of it. Why not? Yeah, sure. And 20-win season for them. Who the hell knows? How do you spell his name? Great, awesome. Awful. Immaculate grid there. Just tried to do something different. Yeah, keep guessing. Yeah, my ass, keep guessing. Just tried to do something fun for anyone watching. Because, it could be boring just listening to me yap sometimes. Especially when I don't have you guys to interact with. I need some action here. But maybe we'll end stream for now and go live again in a little bit when people are, getting home from work. It is 2 in the afternoon, so not a lot of people are active on here right now. They're still at work. So maybe we'll do that. So I guess we'll end stream there, and we'll go live again in a little bit and talk some baseball, talk some basketball, talk some Giants. I didn't get to talk some Giants here with Harbaugh, but that's okay. I guess we will see you guys in a little bit. For anyone watching this in the future, tune in at around 5:30. We'll go live again. So thank you guys.